In a recent split decision from the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Roberts delivered a majority opinion offering broad, flexible immunity for presidential actions. The ruling is yet another victory for Donald Trump, who hopes this will impede the dozens of felony counts from his time as president.
There's this middle ground that's shady, or let me say foggy, and some might say shady, but it's a middle ground that the court said could be determined by courts to be official act, but it might not, and it'll be up to the courts to determine whether it falls into the category of an official act and therefore is criminally immune.
As a result, the judge in the former president's hush money conviction has postponed the sentencing, citing the new legal precedent, a precedent that drew a passionate dissent from Justice Sotomayor, as well as various presidential scholars, such as Dr. Barbara Perry from UVA's Miller Center.
I have to say I fall into the Sotomayor camp, and that I loved her signature in dissent, that is, with fear for our democracy, I dissent.
With this new ruling, do you think our government is relying too much on the goodwill of men?
I do, and I think Jefferson was right, and I think Madison was right in saying that wise men, in those days only men, wise men may not always be at the helm. And so Madison also said, if men were angels, no government would be necessary. So if everybody was going to do the right thing, we wouldn't need government. But knowing that people don't always do the right thing, in fact, they can be evil at worst. Next to that, they can be criminal, if not evil, and they can just be unscrupulous or act in a way that is detrimental to themselves and others, and if they're in public position, to the government.
It's likely that some voters share this fear of an unbridled executive, as a recent poll found that a majority of adults have little to no confidence in the Supreme Court's recent immunity ruling. And for a president who has been marred in controversy since his exit from office, drawing comparisons to fascist leaders from his opponents, this decision may be remembered as a legal success, but a political failure.
For example, the people who understand what the Supreme Court did in granting immunity to Trump in his case, but also to all presidents going forward, I do think that there will be people who might have been on the fence who will say, knowing the extremes that Trump has both experienced and perpetrated during his first term in office, particularly January the 6th, I think those people worry what he would do completely unmoored to the Constitution and to the laws in a second term.
The benefits of the immunity ruling for the former president may have already spoiled. The stark polarization of opinion on Donald Trump and concern over a second term may prove to be problematic against recently crowned Democrat nominee Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris has almost closed the 6-point lead Trump had on President Biden, forecasting a possible upset in November. It is still to be seen for the former president whether his hand-tailored conservative court is a blessing or a curse. I'm Conwell Morris, WUVA.